Greetings! Today we're going to talk about PDF documents. This is going to be the first part in a multi-part series all about reading, creating, and editing PDF documents. Today we're going to go through the different PDF viewing applications available to you on your Mac. We're going to talk about setting the default viewing application, and then we're going to go over some of the features of Adobe Acrobat Pro that might be beneficial to you. To start off, let's talk about some of the applications that are available for you on your Mac to view PDF documents. You can see here in the middle of the screen what they are. On the left here is Preview. Preview is made by Apple, and it's a pretty bare bones, basic PDF viewing application. You can do some features with it, such as highlighting and some annotation and some drawing of shapes. You'll notice in the middle there we have Adobe Reader. Adobe Reader is the free version of Acrobat that Adobe puts out, and this is what you're probably going to find on most Windows PCs. So if you ever send PDFs home to parents, or if you are, you're in school and a professor sends you a PDF, Adobe Reader is probably what you're going to be using to read that. However, on our school computers, we have Adobe Acrobat Pro installed, and Adobe Acrobat Pro is a paid application. It's produced by Adobe, and it's Acrobat Reader's big brother. Not only does Acrobat Pro let you read PDFs, similar to what Preview and Reader do, but Adobe Acrobat Pro lets you actually take PDFs and edit it. You can add form fields, you can create interactive documents, you can add hyperlinks. Now, one of the questions that always happens is I have a PDF document here, and so I have this report that I want to try to open, and this is about teens and technology. And a lot of times if I just double click it, it's going to open up in Preview, which is great if I just want to, see what's in there. But if I want to do anything with it, I'm going to want, instead of having it open up in Preview, I want to go ahead and have it open up in Adobe Acrobat Pro. Now, if it's a one-time deal, I can go ahead and on my Mac, I can hold down the Control button and I can click it. Or if you have a two-finger touch, sometimes if you hold down two fingers and click it, it'll also open up this menu. And if you notice on the top here, it says Open With. If I mouse over Open With, it gives me a list of all of the applications that Apple thinks that we can open this with. And so notice that right now I have Adobe Acrobat Pro selected. So if I click that, it'll open up the document in Adobe Acrobat Pro. However, if I want to open it up in Preview, I can open it up in Preview. Or if I want to open it up in Adobe Reader, I can open it up with Adobe Reader. Now that's great if it's a one-time deal and I want to click it and select Acrobat Pro and then open it up and read this report. However, a lot of times I just want to switch my default to Adobe Pro. I don't want to deal with Preview or Acrobat Reader. I just want everything to open up in Pro. That way it's easier and I always have all of the capabilities available to me all the time. And so what I can do, and I only have to do this once on my computer, I can hold down the Control key again, and I can click the document, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to select Get Info. When I select Get Info, it brings up the information about that file, and what I'm concerned about here is where it says Open With. Now I can sit there and I can choose Preview, or in this case I'm going to choose Adobe Acrobat Pro, and then notice this button underneath it where it says Change All. If I click Change All, it pops up with a dialog box. It says, are you sure you want to change all of your open all your Reader documents with Adobe Acrobat Pro? And it says this change will apply to all documents with the extension PDF. When I click that, now any document that has a .pdf at the end of it, when I double click it, it'll open up automatically in Adobe Acrobat Pro, and that way I'm not worried about accidentally opening it up in Reader or accidentally opening it up in Preview. Now let's say I do want to open this up, and let's talk about some of the features that are in Adobe Acrobat Pro. So I'm going to double click this. I know it's now opened up in Adobe Acrobat Pro. And let's just kind of walk around the interface a little bit. Adobe Acrobat Pro uses these panels on the side here. So if we look over here, I can see that there's a Tools, a Comment, and a Share panel. And so if we look at the Tools panel, notice I can always read my PDF here in the left-hand pane. But under the right-hand pane, under Tools here, I have some basic tools available to me. I have the ability to rotate pages, and so if I ever need to rotate clockwise or counterclockwise, or just rotate the entire page, I can do that. I can just rotate the evens pages or the odd pages or all the pages. And if I click OK, then I can see that I just rotated them all into landscape mode as opposed to portrait. Let me go ahead and move that back. All right. I can also go through and selectively delete pages. So as I look through the document here, if I see, there's a page at the end of it, let me go down to the end, and maybe that, there's nothing really on this page and so I don't need it, I can go ahead and click delete, and I can select from page 19 to page 19 and delete that page. And once I click yes, now that document will end. I can also extract pages, and when I extract pages, what that's going to do is it's going to take my range of pages that I select here, actually pull them out of this PDF, and then create a brand new PDF with just those pages. And so maybe I want to do pages 1 through 3 as a new file, and when I click OK, now I just have the first 3 pages of this PDF as its own file. If I look back here, those pages will still be in my original document. And so this is great if I have a subset of pages. Maybe I'm printing out some research and I just want the first 5 pages, or maybe there's just a table on page 7 that I want to extract. I can go in and just take out page 7 and have that available to me instead of having to keep, in this case, the entire 18-page document, which comes in very handy. I also have, if we look over here under the Insert Pages area, I can take PDFs and combine them together. So if I have maybe 5 different research documents that I want to put into one PDF document, I can do Insert from File, and I can actually go in and select another file, and I can combine these 2 PDFs together. So I happen to have the Westside Staff Handbook. I can select where I want it to go in the document. So I want it to be located after page 18. And when I click OK, and I scroll down here, notice that when I get to page 18 here, my original document stops, and now the Westside High School Staff Handbook is available on page 19. And notice that my document went from 18 pages up to 88 pages with that. For today, though, the last little bit that I want to mention is some of these annotation tools that are available to you. Now, Adobe Acrobat Pro allows you to go through and insert comments into the PDF. And so if I click there, I can say, this is a great source. And then I can add that comment. Notice that it takes my username and inserts it there. And then over here under comment list, I get a list of all my comments. And in the document itself, when I mouse over or I click on it, I can see what that comment is. I also have the ability to highlight. So if I'm reading through and I want to highlight key pieces of information, I can go through and highlight that, and it's going to show up down here on what time I highlighted and what I did. I also have the ability to do some proofreading marks. So if somebody sends you a PDF and you want to mark it up, for some changes that you recommend, you can actually go through and select text to strike out. You can select text to underline. If you're doing some, really intense proofreading, you can use this tool here to indicate, some additions to the text. So maybe I'm going to highlight mobile access, and then I'm going to say, and then I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to have some text that I want inserted in here. So mobile access is key to, and then when I look at it, I can see that I want to cross out mobile access, and when I mouse over it, I can say what I want to change it to. So I want to delete mobile access, and I want to add mobile access is key to right there. Also, if you notice here, I have an insert text at cursor. What I just showed you before was the replace text command. Now, in the next episode of Area 66 Declassified, we're going to walk through some of the more advanced features of using Adobe Acrobat Pro.